Hello, friends, and welcome back to r/IDontWorkHereLady and our story for today. You work here, you're just choosing not to help. Participants: myself as OP, Karen as Karen, Chad as Karen's husband, HT as head state trooper, SP as guest services supervisor. Oh ye, the wild Karens that come and go at various points in life. During college, I had a very well-paying but high-stress gig as a guest services manager at M Stadium in the New York City area. Mind you, this job paid me just enough for gas in college and a few nights out with friends. I grew up relatively broke. My parents paid the bills and food was always on the table, but allowance, it meant you had to work. So I valued the time I get to hang out with my friends and do stuff. M Stadium would do ticket drops for employees and my friends would always ask to go, so one day a few weeks after I graduated from college, yay, finally time to make real money, my friends and I went to a concert. Mind you, I've worked at the stadium for years at this point. I've had drunk Karens, violent Chads, wild Daves, you name it. I've seen the alcohol-induced version of it. Guest services manager means during events, walk around, field complaints, and get guests whatever they want. Dropped a beer, I'll get you a comp. Feel like the guy next to you is cursing too much near your kids? Get security to make an appearance. It involved a radio headset and lots of power walking. It was lots of fun most nights, a few drunks here and there, some unruly guests, but Karens are always the worst. This job is about servicing thousands of fans as fast as possible. Karens are a waste of time efficiency. The cool thing is, once I got upgraded to manager, I didn't have to wear a M Stadium logo shirt. I got to wear business casual and the radio headset, more like a Secret Service style instead of gamer style. At this point, I'm a familiar face to most of the regular employees, and my very visible ID helps the employees who do not recognize me. Our rules clearly state that if we visit M Stadium as a guest, we must leave our IDs and work attire at home. So I wear some jeans and a band t-shirt for the night. Mind you, it's my birthday weekend. It's a great band, and my friends and I just finished college. All my colleagues are aware of this. It's going to be a great night. Stadium M charges an arm and a leg for parking. It's one of the biggest complaints. My supervisor comps my parking like a boss, and we park in the closest lot for employees. My friends and I are hyped. We get in line for security. Some of my usual team members walk by into their security line. We catch up, and they all wish me a happy birthday. A work aunt of mine, Mary, promises to treat me well with free drinks and food. I'm all ears, although I avoid the food personally because I've seen where it's prepared. Hence a life goal of as little fast food as possible. This weekend, though, rules are out the window. I should have known, though. A Karen had seen and heard it all. I get asked by a person. I don't turn around to look at them as one of my work friends gave me a hug and leaves. Do you work here? I respond. Not today. I used to work guest services, though. She immediately starts the 500 questions game, and I'm in a pretty good mood, so I answer willingly. Unknowingly feeding the beast. I explain how the layout for concerts is a little overwhelming. There are 2 local bathroom facilities for the roughly 3,000 general admission area. But once you know where to go, you're pretty much set in terms of food and bathrooms, so I give her a quick 30 seconds of my time while we wait to go through security. Karen's with her burly Chad and 2 kids. I know the type from a glance. The dad who gets super drunk and lets loose while his wife blames everyone else. I had a guy who pulled a girl's top down while drunk, and his wife physically attacked the girl for being too promiscuous around her drunk AF husband. The poor girl was 16. It was not one of the brighter situations I've had to report on. We get through security, and Karen and her family start following me around. It's a general admission crowd, so there's not seating. Right away, she lays into me. Hey, OP, why does the upper ring get seats and we don't? I have children. They're going to want to sit. Still polite, I explain that on her ticket in bold it states GA, standing only. Her family's vanished at this point and my friends have gone ahead. I start to walk away. She goes, OP, you work here. You have to help me. I can't stand all night. I point out the guest services booth, tell her to quickly state her family issue with them and they'll be glad to help. I turn to walk away while she grabs my wrist. Excuse me, you're being rude. Do not walk away from me while I'm talking to you. I respond, ma'am, I gave you an answer. I'm not an employee here tonight. Please file a complaint. Our company is very strict when it comes to us attending as guests. We cannot wear our IDs or become involved with our normal working duties, i.e., breaking up fights or going into employee-only zones. Karen doesn't let go. At this point, we just look like a couple disagreeing on where to go. No one intervenes, which is fine. I reach back and remove her hand from my wrist. Little did I know this was far from the end. Later on, I meet my friends. The concert's half done, drinks are cut off, food sales are ending. Not before my friends and I have had a good fill of comp stuff. I've been a decent employee, very reliable, very good reviews. It feels great. I don't know how, but somehow in a dark crowd of 3,000 people, Karen reappears. The main act is on, and Karen needs a restroom, and her Chad husband wants more beer. I'm not drunk, but I'm not sober at this point. I'm jumping up and down and enjoying myself. My friends are having a good time. Then a hand grabs me and pulls me back from jumping. I have a shoulder injury from pitching in high school, and the grab was very unexpected. None of my friends notice right away because it's from behind. Immediate pain. It's the Karen's Chad. Immediately he lays into me saying, "Hey, she asked you a question." I could smell the number of drinks on him. Still in pain, with this huge drunk guy twisting my arm in pain around my back, she tries to tell me over the sound of 300 loudspeakers what she needs, and I can't hear a word she's saying. Finally, the song ends, and one of my bigger friends turns, sees me in pain, and shoves the drunk Chad back off me. Chad stumbles backwards, trips, and falls into a group of people. At this point, security rushes over. Karen abandons me, her children, and is screaming for someone to help her husband. I slowly get off the ground in pain as my friends hover over me. I'll admit, our security team, they swarm very quickly. My friend is livid. He looks like the aggressor, and Karen lays into him while security separates everyone. I end up on my feet next to Karen's crying kids. The band starts playing again and the lights dim again. Security takes everyone involved into the employee corridor. Karen is with her husband and not even noticing her kids. I point them out to a friend of mine and he brings them in with us. Once the door's shut, there's less music. Karen lays into my friend and me, saying how I work here and refuse to help, and then how my friend attacked her husband while he was holding her children, all fabricated for maximum sympathy. At this point, state troopers are involved because Chad got hurt and is visibly bleeding, and a guest was injured when he bowled into them. My super, SP, arrives with her personal state trooper, HT. They work together always, and they both notice me to the side with my friend immediately. She quips right away, "OP, I should have known." The HT gives me a quick nod, and we're on good terms. I comp his sniper guys with hot chocolate during winter games. Karen gets first crack, immediately unleashes a tirade at me once again, spitting with fury. Her story went along the lines of how I boasted to my friends I work here in the line, how I got mad at her for asking where the restrooms were, and then during the concert how I jumped in front of her and her kids with my friends, and when she politely asked me to move, I attacked her husband. She keeps it up and goes a little too far in saying how she recorded me dancing instead of working. Unable to get her story straight, she speaks a little too much. The HT asks me for my ID and I tell him it's at home, that I'm not working tonight. Karen gets pissed, saying I used it to get free drinks. My super asked me if I'd been drinking. I answer truthfully and show her the receipt for one of the drinks I was comped. Karen keeps interrupting. Another trooper tells her to knock it off while they start talking to the group that Chad knocked over. One of them got hurt and I can't hear what they're saying, but when the trooper comes back around, he asks me how my shoulder's feeling. I'd not told him about having my arm pinned behind me. The woman had told him how she was standing behind me, saw the guy grab me violently, and then my friend pushed him off before the melee went off. She'd been recording the concert and got a full video of the Chad. It was epic. I start smirking because I was still a little tipsy, and Chad sees this. He bum rushes past some of the security folks in between us, screaming, "I'm gonna wipe that smirk off your face." The rest of the security swarm him, and he's pinned to the ground, arms behind his back. Karen is screaming police brutality, and I'm just in shock and awe. After Chad is gone, Karen claims I assaulted her earlier, and her husband was just trying to defend her. Recall the time she grabbed my wrist? She claims I bruised her arm when I removed her hand from me. HD asked me if it's true that I touched her earlier. I respond yes, she grabbed me, so I removed her hand. He sighs, saying he has to take a full statement on both incidents separately because she's claiming assault. I'm pissed, but I go with it. Concerts ended at this point, and HT and his team take the whole lot of us to conference rooms. At this point, the group, pretty much now just the couple Chad hit into, has filed their statement. Our stadium rarely follows up on assault cases. They usually just put in a 4-hour hold, wait for the patrons to sober up, and let them go. So I'm very chill. I explain this to my friend and the couple while Karen shoots us dirty looks from across the room. They all deem this outcome acceptable. I apologize for ruining the show for them and explain if they ever choose to come back, I'll do what I can. Karen gets pissed at this and is mad. I ignore her and continue to sober up. Eventually, I give my statement. It devolves into a he said, she said situation, which is fine by me. The HT comes in and explains to me and Karen, simply put, he doesn't plan to take anyone to get booked. He says he'll let Chad go and the stadium won't press charges if Karen chooses not to press charges either. Karen gets livid. She's still a bit under the influence. She starts ranting on about how the stadium is showing favoritism because an employee assaulted her and how no one wanted to help her since the moment she walked in the door. She starts her poor guest services rant with, I couldn't get anyone to help me, not even OP. He just kept walking away from me and I only got an answer from him when I grabbed his arm. Bam. My ears are burning at this point. Karen keeps going. But at the point HT has stopped listening, she finally finishes, and HT calmly asks her, what do you mean you had to grab OP to get an answer? She immediately clams up. Realizing her mistake, she starts in on how no one was willing to help her with her kids and she had to get someone's attention. HT tells her to can it and asks me if I want to press charges because she made physical contact first. Karen is pissed. HT asks her how much she had to drink and tells her to get someone to pick her up and her kids. It's well past 1 a.m. at this point. HT and SP are ready to end this. Karen's not. She keeps ranting. HT says one more word and I will put you in a cell. Eventually, Karen calls someone to get her kids and the couple decides not to press charges on Chad. Karen gets upset when HT states it's late and they'll hold Chad overnight at the barracks 10 miles away. Karen gets livid. She spits at HT, who lets out another sigh and arrests her. SP comes by and apologizes. She offers me another comp ticket for the show tomorrow, but I decline and offer them to the couple who kindly saved me from losing my job. They love it, and it was the least I could do for unintentionally ruining their night. It was a side gig at this point, but it was still fun. Eventually, I returned a week later as the village idiot. Word traveled fast that I fought a guest and it just got out of hand from there. I laughed it off for about a year till there was a huge management change, and they threw guest relations under the bus any chance they had. I was sad to go, but I had a corporate gig and I was just going for fun at that point. My SP quit and I followed her a month later. No regrets. HT told me Karen got community service and probation for assaulting a peace officer when she spit on him. Her husband got off with no charges. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you soon.